26, 1986, a devastating event, noted today as the worst nuclear disaster in history occurred. The cause? The explosion of a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The cause of the disaster was cited as a defect in the design of the reactor as well as the violation of several safety protocols by inexperienced workers. The meltdown of the reactor resulted in large quantities of radioactive matter being released. Many of the firefighters who were called to the scene to help extinguish the fire died, with the remaining being diagnosed with acute radiation syndrome. 28 of these people died in the first 4 months.
Research conducted about 29 years after the disaster, which examined fire evolution in the radioactive forests in Ukraine, showed that there were still traces of cesium-137. The Chernobyl disaster should serve as a reminder of the horrific consequences that radioactive waste can have on human health and the environment. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem much has been learned from the Chernobyl tragedy, as more than 250,000 metric tons of highly radioactive waste sits in storage near nuclear power plants and weapons production facilities worldwide. With over 90,000 metric tons in the United States alone, these hazardous materials continue to age as they await permanent disposal in geological repositories, but none are operational. The Nuclear Waste Policy Act of 1982 was instituted in order to facilitate the safe storage and disposal of radioactive waste being released. Amendments to the Act in 1987 ending in the decision that Yucca Mountain would be the site for nuclear waste storage. However, this plan was shut down by the Obama administration in 2010, and no plans have been made since then for alternative locations.
So what can we do? The most general solution would be for industries to switch to an alternative source of energy such as solar or wind. This would eliminate the issue of nuclear waste being released into the environment, thus limiting the exposure to these radioactive matter, which would prevent increased cases of acute radiation syndrome. Secondly, Congress should devise a plan for the long-term management of nuclear and radioactive waste. Currently, billions of dollars are being spent by the federal government in order to pay commercial nuclear plant operators to store the used fuel. I propose that instead, the money should be going into actually funding a long-term solution to the problem of nuclear waste, such as setting up a new site for the permanent disposal of this hazardous waste.